Hello there. It's wonderful to think about bringing more beauty into our gardens, isn't it? Few things can transform a space quite like a hydrangea hedge. Imagine a living wall bursting with magnificent globes of color. These blooms can range from the purest whites to the deepest blues and vibrant pinks. They bring such a generous, joyful presence. A hydrangea hedge is more than just a boundary, it's a statement of abundance. It's a soft, welcoming feature that changes with the seasons, always offering something new to admire. It truly is a gardener's delight, a real spectacle. Hydrangeas are particularly well suited to forming hedges, you see. Their naturally bushy growth habit means they fill out beautifully, creating a dense screen. This offers privacy without the harshness of a solid fence. You can create a lovely secluded spot in your garden. Or perhaps you want to define different areas, guiding the eye and the feet. An informal cottage garden style benefits immensely from their relaxed charm. Equally, with a bit of careful selection and pruning, they can suit more formal settings. They are remarkably versatile plants, these hydrangeas, always eager to please. One of the great joys of a hydrangea hedge is watching it evolve throughout the year. In spring, the fresh green leaves unfurl, full of promise. Then comes the magnificent display of summer flowers, a true feast for the eyes. Many varieties hold their dried flower heads well into autumn and even winter, providing structure and interest when much else in the garden has faded. These dried heads can look quite magical, especially when touched by frost. And let's not forget the bees and other pollinators. They adore the open-faced lace-cap varieties in particular. Now, you might be thinking this sounds like a lot of work, especially if you're newer to gardening, but I assure you, growing a hydrangea hedge is wonderfully achievable. With a bit of know-how and some gentle care, you can cultivate a truly stunning feature. It's about understanding what these lovely plants need and providing it. The rewards, believe me, are well worth the effort. So let's explore how you can create your very own blooming barrier, a real treasure for your garden space. It's a journey worth embarking on. The first, and perhaps most crucial step, is choosing the right type of hydrangea for your hedge. Not all hydrangeas are created equal when it comes to forming a continuous, thriving boundary. You need to consider your local climate conditions, the amount of sunlight your chosen spot receives, and the type of soil you have. Think also about the eventual size you want your hedge to reach. Some varieties grow much larger than others. Popular choices for hedging include Hydrangea, macrophylla, Hydrangea paniculata, and Hydrangea arborescens, each with its own unique charm and requirements for you to consider. Let's talk about Hydrangea macrophylla, the classic bigleaf hydrangeas. These are the ones with the familiar large mop head or delicate lace-cap flowers. They are famous for their ability to change color, from blue in acidic soil to pink in alkaline soil. This can be quite a fascinating aspect of growing them. They generally prefer a bit of afternoon shade, especially in hotter climates, as strong sun can scorch their lovely leaves and flowers. For a hedge, you'll want to select varieties that have a good, sturdy growth habit, ensuring they stand up well together to create a full look. Then we have the splendid Hydrangea paniculata varieties, often called panicle hydrangeas. These are real troopers. They produce magnificent, large, cone-shaped flower heads, often starting white or lime green and aging to shades of pink or even deep red. They are generally more tolerant of sun than the macrophylla types and are also very cold-hardy, which is a real bonus in many gardens. Varieties like limelight or vanilla strawberry are incredibly popular for good reason, growing into substantial shrubs that make excellent, reliable hedges. Their upright growth is particularly good for creating a dense screen. Finally, don't overlook Hydrangea arborescens or smooth hydrangeas. The most well-known of these is Annabelle, with its enormous round heads of white flowers. They are incredibly hardy and reliable bloomers, often flowering on new wood, which makes pruning very straightforward indeed. These types can tolerate more shade than many other hydrangeas, making them a good choice for trickier spots in the garden. They tend to have a slightly more relaxed, informal feel, perfect for a cottage garden or woodland edge. Carefully consider the mature height and spread of any variety you choose for your hedge. The best times to plant your new hydrangea hedge are generally in the spring or autumn. These seasons offer milder temperatures and more reliable rainfall, which helps the young plants establish their roots without too much stress. Avoid planting in the heat of summer or when the ground is frozen solid in winter. Good preparation is absolutely key to success. You're not just planting individual shrubs, you're creating a living structure, and the foundation you lay now will pay dividends for years to come, ensuring a healthy and floriferous display from your plants. Before you even think about putting plants in the ground, take a good look at your soil. Hydrangeas thrive in well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. Most garden soils will benefit from improvement. Dig in plenty of well-rotted compost or farmyard manure along the entire length of your intended hedge. This will improve soil structure, aeration, and water retention, all vital for happy hydrangeas. If you're aiming for blue macrophylla flowers, ensure your soil is acidic. You can add ericaceous compost or sulfur chips if needed, but always test your soil pH first. Spacing your hydrangeas correctly is very important for creating a dense, continuous hedge. If you plant them too far apart, you'll have gaps. Too close, and they'll compete excessively for light, water, and nutrients, potentially leading to weaker growth. As a general rule, for most hedging varieties, aim for a spacing of about 3 to 5 feet apart, measuring from the center of each plant. Dig individual holes for each plant, or better yet, a trench if you're planting several. Make the holes or trench at least twice as wide as the root ball and about the same depth. When you're ready to plant, gently remove each hydrangea from its pot and tease out any circling roots. This encourages them to spread outwards into their new home rather than continuing to grow in a confined pattern. Place the plant in the hole, ensuring the top of the root ball is level with the surrounding soil surface. Backfill the hole with the improved soil, firming it gently around the roots to remove air pockets. Once all your hydrangeas are planted, water them in thoroughly. A good layer of mulch, like bark chips or composted leaves, will help retain moisture and suppress weeds. Watering is especially crucial for your new hydrangea hedge, particularly during its first couple of growing seasons as it establishes its root system. Hydrangeas, with their large leaves and abundant flowers, can be quite thirsty plants, especially during warm, dry weather. Aim to water deeply and less frequently, rather than little and often. This encourages the roots to grow deeper into the soil in search of moisture. Check the soil with your finger. If it feels dry an inch or two down, it's time to water. Established hedges will still appreciate a good drink during prolonged dry spells. Feeding your hydrangeas will help them produce the best possible display of flowers and maintain healthy, vigorous growth. A general-purpose balanced fertilizer applied in early spring, just as new growth begins, is usually sufficient. You can also use a specialized hydrangea feed if you prefer, particularly if you're trying to maintain a specific flower color in your macrophylla varieties. Be careful not to over-fertilize, as this can sometimes lead to lots of lush leaf growth at the expense of flowers. A good mulch of compost each spring also adds nutrients slowly. Pruning your hydrangea hedge correctly will keep it looking tidy and encourage plenty of blooms. The method depends on the type of hydrangea you've chosen. Hydrangea macrophylla varieties generally flower on old wood, meaning they form their flower buds the previous summer. So prune these lightly after flowering, just removing spent blooms and any dead or weak stems. Hydrangea paniculata and arborescens flower on new wood, so these can be pruned back harder in late winter or early spring to encourage strong new growth and abundant flowers. Always use clean, sharp secateurs for your pruning tasks. Occasionally, your hydrangea hedge might encounter a few common issues. Pests like aphids or spider mites can sometimes appear, but often a strong jet of water or encouraging beneficial insects can keep them in check. Fungal problems like powdery mildew or leaf spot can occur, especially in humid conditions or if air circulation is poor. Ensure good spacing and prune to improve airflow. Yellowing leaves or chlorosis can indicate an iron deficiency, often in alkaline soils. An application of chelated iron can help, but mostly with good soil, proper watering, and a little attention, your hydrangea hedge will thrive, rewarding you with years of breathtaking beauty.